You know, when we think about the Christmas story, we usually picture the calm, silent night. The manger, the shepherds, everything is peaceful. But when you actually open the text to Matthew chapter 2, the vibe shifts dramatically. It stops being a lullaby and starts feeling like a political thriller.
That is the perfect way to describe it. It really is a thriller. You've got a paranoid tyrant, secret meetings, assassination attempts, and a family running for their lives in the middle of the night. It's intense.
And that's what we're diving into today. Matthew chapter 2. It opens with this arrival that sets everything in motion. We have these wise men from the east coming to Jerusalem, and they ask a question that frankly seems a little dangerous considering who was in charge at the time.
Oh, it was incredibly dangerous. They walk right into the capital city and ask, "Where is he who is born king of the Jews?" Now, you have to understand the context here. Herod is currently the king of the Jews. He's on the throne. He's powerful, he's jealous, and he's historically known for killing anyone he perceived as a threat, even his own family members.
So asking, "Where is the real king?" is basically treason.
Exactly. And the text says when Herod heard this, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. That's such a telling phrase. If Herod is unhappy, nobody is safe. The whole city holds its breath.
It's interesting, though, that these wise men, outsiders, foreigners, are the ones paying attention. They saw a star in the east. They traveled likely hundreds of miles. Meanwhile, Herod gathers the chief priests and scribes, the insiders, and asks them where the Christ is supposed to be born. Do they know the answer?
They know the answer immediately. They quote the prophet Micah without hesitation. In Bethlehem of Judea, they know the geography, they know the scripture. They even quote the part about the ruler who will shepherd my people Israel. But here is the irony that always gets me. Did you notice what they don't do?
They don't go.
Precisely, they don't go. Bethlehem is only about 5 or 6 miles from Jerusalem. It's a short walk. The foreigners traveled for months to worship. The religious leaders wouldn't walk 5 miles to check if the Messiah had arrived. It's a stunning contrast between intellectual knowledge and actual heart-level seeking.
That is heavy. It's like they had the map but no desire to take the trip. So Herod plays it cool. He secretly calls the wise men. He wants the data. When did the star appear? And then he gives them this command. Go search diligently, and bring me word, so that I may come and worship him too.
Which is the lie of the century. We know exactly what he wants to do. But the wise men, they leave the palace, and the star reappears. And I love the description here. It says they rejoiced with exceedingly great joy. It's this burst of emotion after the tension of Jerusalem.
And they find the house. It mentions a house now, not a stable, so some time might have passed. They see the child with Mary, and they fall down and worship. Then come the famous gifts: gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Right, and these aren't random baby shower gifts. They are deeply symbolic. Gold for a king, frankincense for a priest, it was used in temple worship. And myrrh is a burial spice. It's used for embalming. Even in this moment of joy, there's a shadow of the death that is eventually coming for this child.
It's foreshadowing the end right at the beginning. But before they can leave, the plot twists again. God intervenes.
Yes, the divine counterintelligence. The wise men are warned in a dream not to go back to Herod, so they ghost him. They go back to their country by another route, and immediately after Joseph gets a dream too, an angel tells him, "Arise, take the young child and his mother, flee into Egypt."
Why Egypt? Apart from it being outside Herod's jurisdiction, is there a deeper meaning there?
Oh, absolutely. Matthew is writing to a Jewish audience, and he is constantly connecting Jesus to the history of Israel. Think about it. In the Old Testament, the family of Jacob, Israel, went down into Egypt to survive a famine. Later, God called them out of Egypt in the Exodus to become a nation. Matthew even quotes the prophet Hosea here, "Out of Egypt I called my son." He's showing that Jesus is reliving the history of Israel, but where Israel often failed, this son will succeed. He is the new Israel.
So it's not just a survival tactic. It's a theological statement. But while they are escaping, things in Bethlehem take a horrifying turn. This is the part of the story we usually skip in the Christmas pageants.
We do, because it's devastating. Herod realizes he's been mocked or outsmarted by the wise men. His ego is bruised, and his paranoia takes over. He orders the execution of all male children in Bethlehem and the surrounding region who are 2 years old and under.
It's unimaginable cruelty, based on the timeline he learned from the wise men.
It is. It's known as the Massacre of the Innocents, and Matthew connects this to Jeremiah's prophecy about Rachel weeping for her children. Rachel was one of the matriarchs of Israel, buried near Bethlehem. It's this poetic, heartbreaking image of the nation's mother weeping for her lost children. It reminds us that the arrival of this king sparked a violent clash with the powers of darkness. It wasn't all silent nights, there was real screaming and real loss.
It grounds the story in reality. It's not a fairy tale where magic fixes everything immediately. There is collateral damage in this spiritual war. So the family is in Egypt, safe for now. But tyrants don't live forever.
No, they don't. Herod eventually dies. And again, the angel appears to Joseph in a dream in Egypt. Arise, go into the land of Israel, for those who sought the young child's life are dead. It feels like the all-clear signal.
But it's not completely clear, is it? Joseph starts heading back, but then he hears news.
Right? He hears that Archelaus is reigning in Judea. Archelaus was one of Herod's sons, and let's just say the apple didn't fall far from the tree. He was known to be brutal. Joseph is afraid, and rightfully so.
And once again, God navigates them. Another dream.
Exactly. This chapter is full of dreams. It's like a divine GPS system guiding them at every turn. Because of the threat of Archelaus, they bypass Judea and head north to the region of Galilee, to a small, obscure town called Nazareth.
And Matthew wraps this up with one more prophecy. He shall be called a Nazarene. Now, I've heard people debate this because there isn't a specific verse in the Old Testament that says exactly those words, right?
You are spot on. It's a bit of a puzzle. Most scholars think Matthew is summarizing the theme of the prophets rather than quoting one specific verse. The word Nazareth sounds very similar to the Hebrew word netzer, which means branch, a title for the Messiah found in Isaiah. But also Nazareth was a backwater town. It was looked down upon. The prophet said the Messiah would be despised and rejected, so being a Nazarene carried that stigma.
So, by ending up in Nazareth, Jesus becomes the branch, but also the humble, rejected one.
Exactly. It fits the entire narrative we've just seen. He is the king of the Jews, worshipped by foreigners with gold and myrrh, yet he is hunted by the current king, lives as a refugee in Egypt, and grows up in a town that nobody respects.
It's a paradox. The highest dignity and the lowest humility wrapped into one chapter.
That is the perfect summary. And think about the human element here, specifically Joseph. He doesn't say a single word in this chapter, did you notice?
I didn't, but you're right. He just acts.
He just obeys. Arise, and he arises. Flee, and he flees. Go, and he goes. He protects the child and the mother through immediate, unquestioning obedience to these dreams. Without Joseph's responsiveness, the story ends differently.
It really makes you think about the role of guardianship. You have Herod, who uses his power to destroy children to protect his throne. And you have Joseph, who uses his strength to protect one child, abandoning his home and safety to do it.
Two different kinds of kingship, really. One is self-serving and destructive, the other is sacrificial and protective, and that's the king that Jesus grows up to be.
As we wrap up this journey through chapter 2, it feels like the main takeaway is about God's sovereignty amidst chaos. You have political machinations, murder, displacement. But through it all, the prophecies are being ticked off one by one.
Absolutely. You can't stop the plan. You can have the most powerful man in the region trying to kill a toddler, but God uses foreign stargazers, dreams, and ancient prophecies to weave a path of safety. It tells us that history isn't just a series of random accidents. There is a narrative being written, even in the darkest moments.
And sometimes the safest place to be isn't the palace, but on the road, following the guidance you've been given.
Beautifully said. The star and the dreams didn't offer a comfortable life. They offered a way forward. And sometimes that's all we get, and that's enough.
A powerful reminder. From the gold of the Magi to the dust of Egypt. And finally, the quiet hills of Nazareth. Thanks for walking through this intense chapter with us.
My pleasure. It's a story that never gets old.
Join us next time as we continue the journey. Until then, keep listening.
If you have been blessed by this, please like, subscribe, and share this joy with others. God bless.